Well, I went out estate sailing today and I found some pretty interesting stuff. I got some old vintage Christmas lights, which are going to be in this video. And also, some of them were wrapped around old 1972 newspapers. And they turned out to be pretty interesting. So I go through the newspapers, probably spend more time on the newspapers than I do the lights. There's old car ads, tire ads, battery ads, house ads, apartment rent ads, food prices, old Perry drug ad, just lots of X-rated movies even that were shown in theaters, and some of the old theaters from around this area that were drive-ins. And it's December 29th, December 30th, and December 31st, 1972 newspapers. They're the Macomb Daily, the Detroit News, and the Detroit Free Press. So I'm going to put those in the video so you can skip through the video if you're not interested in the lights, or if you're not interested in the newspapers and you want to see about the Christmas stuff, you can skip through the newspaper stuff. Either way, it doesn't bother me, but the newspaper stuff's pretty interesting. I think you'll enjoy it. And the lights, I like that old tacky vintage Christmas stuff. So I think I'll incorporate it all into one video. I've already done the video and I just doing a new intro to it, so enjoy. First things first, got a bunch of this. I enjoy gardening, and this is to make flowers bloom more. So a lot of that, like Miracle Grows and stuff, has high nitrogen, which makes for great green growth. But if you want flowers, you use this. So it takes like a tablespoon per gallon. So there's probably a lifetime supply there. So got that, got some old vintage C-9 lights, and everything was 25% off. So did pretty good. These are old, I like the old packaging too. So just kind of a rundown of what all was there. So anyway, these are the light sets, and I looked at some of the wiring is damaged, as you can see there and there. So, but we'll plug it in anyway and check them out. It said they worked. It says works. And it looks like they do. They all illuminate. And I think a lot of these are blinkers. That's what they, yeah, so they're starting to blink. And this isn't all. We'll get this box out and make sure they work. Those with damaged wires seem to work fine. I'll go through and take the bulbs out of the bad strings and throw the bad strings away. If one of these strings is good, I'll keep it. And also got another box of goodies over here. And if you're into this vintage Christmas stuff, that's one of those Chinese lanterns, but that's in a C-9 socket. There's a whole ton of these bells. All I wanted was these. These are all blinkers, and they're what I wanted. But we got some old newspapers here, and we'll take a look at the old newspapers, and there's a whole ton of these old bells in here, and they're all C-9 lights in them. I mean, there must be 20 of them, 30 of them maybe in there. But these are all twinkling C-9s, so maybe I can do a whole shrub up this year of twinkling C-9s. And I got this Tacky. Anyone that knows or watches my videos knows I like the old Tacky Christmas stuff. This has a little bit of damage here. These are like really thin plastic. They're celluloid, I think, or anyway, it's a real thin blow mold film. And it's got a dent down there and some damage there. And it says it's catalog number V475. I didn't find anything on the internet about this, but it says it'll take a 25 or 40 watt. It's got an old 25 watt, and I took the bulb out at the estate sale. It says Edison. It's an old Edison like those candles had. And I plugged this in at the estate sale and it worked. So it says Lidco Incorporated Valley Stream, and I think that was in New York. So yeah, we got some pretty tacky stuff. So we'll go through and plug everything in and see how everything works here, and take a look at those newspapers too. Well, a whole bunch of them are blinking now. More as they've been plugged in, they've been warming up and starting to blink. This one really blinks fast. Has an unusual filament in it, and the blinker arm goes across the top instead of coming up from the base. A little different from, you can see how the filament's shaped in that bulb, and then you can see how the filament's shaped in this bulb. So it's kind of unique. So we got a nice slug of lamps here. Let's check out the rest of the stuff. I untangled these, and it turns out this is a 25 socket, 15 socket set. This is a set that had the insulation damaged, and I just, well, I don't see where I taped it now, but I just took some electrical tape for now because none of the wires are frayed. It was just the insulation was compromised. So I just put a little this on it. So both those sets work. So this is the next box of goodies. So in case if you want to read that, you can pause it, and this is what the set number is. So let's get these out of the box and see if they work. They look like brand new. The sockets bases are as shiny as can be, so let's have a look at them, a gander. Alright, I took a bulb out. These things are brand new. They've never been used. I mean, that wire, everything is like brand spanking new. It feels supple. It still has that smell that this wiring had when it was new. I mean, this is obviously a brand new set of lights that somebody just put the bulbs in and never used. I mean, this is nice. So we'll plug these in and see if these work. Look at that. Yeah, brand spanking new. It says it's UL listed LOMCO for indoor outdoor use. UL approved. Looks like one bulb out. That is it. Oh, two bulbs, I'm sorry. So we got a yellow. Oh, this blue is off, but that blue is not in the socket. I can't get it screwing. I'll fiddle with it here and see if I can get it in. But yeah, a brand new set of lights. Well, I see why they never used this brand new string of lights. Some of the bulbs wouldn't screw in the sockets, and there was some flashing in there that prevented them from screwing in. So I just took a little screwdriver and cleaned the flashing out. Whoops. And they all, well, this socket here I think is cracked from trying to clean it. But we got other sockets, so we'll just change that socket. But yeah, brand new set of lights that all the bulbs are good in. Well, I took the socket off, and the socket cracked in half, but you can kind of see, I don't know if it shows up in the video or not, but there's just some flashing defect there that prevented the bulb from threading in. But I have some of these sockets from other strings I've thrown away that I've saved, you know, because the sockets were like brand new. I saved some of the sockets just for this instance, so I can actually replace that socket. I mean, you just pop that metal clip off, the bottom comes off, and they just come off the cord, as you can see. This is all brand new, and they just pierce the wire with a little, see if that, I don't know if that shows up, if it's in focus, but just little ears that just pierce the wire for the lamp, so I can easily put another socket on this. So to change these sockets, I just push this back in, and then like this will hold the wiring, and then this goes back on and over and holds it all together. So these little ears here clip up in the top part of the socket. I didn't dig out another socket. I just don't feel like taking the time. I'll wait until Christmas. So I just put some electrical tape around this socket for now. And we'll just reinstall it and put the bulb in it, and it should light up. Alright, as simple as that. The taped up socket's back on the light set, and we'll put the bulb in. The bulb screws in hard still because of the damaged threads, but it goes in and it should light up. And it does. So all the lamps, every one of them work. Some of them are pretty dim, but they all light. And this is a good thing to have around when you work on these old C-9 lights, because this glue that holds the bulb to the base, sometimes they break loose, and you just put a drop of this and hold it, and if you can turn the bulb on, the heat dries it pretty quick, and then that'll bond it better than the original glue. So I always keep one of these handy when I'm working on old lights, and one of these, because sometimes you got to pop these sockets apart. Sometimes you got to push those metal terminals back down into the wires to, you know, so sometimes you have to fool with them a little bit. But this wiring, like I say, this is brand new. I'll use the set of lights totally. I'll put them out at Christmas. By the way, this was a 25 light set, and all the bulbs so far have been the inside ceramic coated lamps. And I do have some of these ceramic inside coated lamps that blink. I probably have a couple of dozen bulbs that blink that are inside coated. So I'll have to put those in sockets and let them warm up and see if they blink. You know, sometimes people just use this packaging to store extra bulbs, but I think we did good there. That wiring I can use, that snow fountain cherry that I have. If you look at my past videos, those lights are in that tree every year, pretty much all from the beginning of November all the way to the beginning of March. So some of the wiring is getting a little weathered and worn, and so it's always good to get sets, you know, new wiring that I can use. Okay, we'll turn to this box of lights. I paid like $6. It was 20% off, and it was $8, so it was like $6. So, I mean, there's a socket if I need I can just use the plastic part of it if the wiring's no good. This marks on the insulation, that's actually looks good. So we got two pretty good size. This has the green socket, so I'd have to use the socket off that. These sockets will work, but it won't look right. And then we got a whole ton of these bells. I didn't want any of these, they just kind of came with it. That's a twinkling C-9. You can see the little bimetal strip in there that makes it twinkle. It's just heats up and breaks the circuit, cools down, remakes the circuit. I don't know if it shows up in the video. It's the kind of wide, thin part in there. And yeah, this stuff I'll probably end up just throwing away. Oh, it's got the Light sockets. So these ones just screw on and off. So you can use these sockets, put them wherever you want. Yeah, there's a slug of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Looks like 14 bells and a bunch of garland. Looks like a lot of that stuff. Might go in the trash, but let's see. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these bells. So that might be, I mean, I see these on eBay sometimes for a bit of money, so I might just, these, I don't know if they're pretty tacky, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what works. I don't know. These bulbs here, some of these bulbs were those like Chinese lantern bulbs. So anyway, let's go through and see what works here. Well, it kind of cloud went over, looks like it's going to rain, so I thought, well, I'll get this ultra tacky Christmas decoration out, plug it in and see if it works. It works perfect. Actually, looks pretty decent. So I don't know if I'll put that out or not. Probably might even resell it. I might look and see if I can find one on eBay to see what they sell for. I see sometimes these things sell for $50 or $75, and I paid 50 cents I think for that, or $1. I don't remember. I bought that a couple of estate sales ago. I'm just including it in this video. Alright, I looked over the wiring and all looks good, but there is a broken lamp right here, so I'm going to remove that. And it looks like there's two sets here because there's a plug joining them there. But these all look good, and these are blinkers, so they're all going to blink. That's going to make a wild shrub if I put them in a bush with all these blinkers. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to switch off the bright light there. Alright, let's see what happens. And we got, well, it looks like one's out. And that bulb is free from the base, so I'll probably have to take needle nose pliers to get it out. I'm sure the bulb will break free from the socket. But anyway, we'll let them get warmed up and blinking, and then I'll maybe put the camera back on for a moment. All the ones in the sockets illuminate. There was that one with the bad base, and then this one was bad. But every one that's in there blinks. Some of them are off a while, but they all, like this one and this one, they do work, but they just take their sweet time blinking. Alright, I had a phone call and had lunch. I kind of distracted from where I was, but I think we illuminated those. So we're going to illuminate these, and then I'm going to unwrap the lights from one of these and kind of see what it says. Look at this. 6 Mile and Woodward is kind of not a pretty area. Sometimes there's a lot of hookers around there and stuff, but look at this. In color, adults only. So we're gonna see what that says on it. Alright, back to the lights. Let me look at the wiring, and then we'll get the set plugged in. Well, doggone it, I had the camera on the wrong setting again. And anyway, this comes out of the center of the newspaper, so I had to kind of plug it in to where it's hanging down. And a couple of, this bulb has a broken filament, and this one's loose from the socket side. I got to glue and then tighten it up. But the rest of them all appear to be good. Some of them, you know, the blinking is a little slower probably because it's warm out and the heat of the bulbs all together. But when I plugged the strand in, all but a couple bulbs illuminated, and they were just loose. That bulb does blink, and that bulb blinks, and that one blinks. They all illuminate. That one just is taking a long time to come back on. It's actually a pretty slick way. They're just unraveling quite easily off the newspaper, but I see this. Yeah, bare. I didn't get a shock or short anything, but this wiring will go in the garbage, and I'll save some of these plastic sockets for like when I need that other set. That, you know, you can just reuse this plastic. You can use the innards and the metal from the new socket, and this plastic generally doesn't go bad, so I'll save some of those and fix that other light set that I taped up the socket on. But these will just be for spare bulbs. And there's actually 2 light sets on there, so that's a 15 light set, and I'm going to assume that's a 15. That's about how many bulbs look like there. And we'll figure out how many is on that one when we unravel that one too. Alright, just show you how these sockets come off. I just take a screwdriver, and I'm going to try and do this through the viewfinder of the camera. And I'll try and, I got to hold both hands here. So you just kind of bend that up and out. Take that off. and then the socket comes off the wiring. And you got a good socket, wire bail if you need one, the base of the socket. So that socket will be fine on that set of lights. So that's why I save bits and pieces, you know, for this vintage stuff. Like I say, they don't make this stuff anymore, this old vintage stuff. You can buy newer versions, but the newer stuff is just garbage. The bulbs, the finish doesn't stay on the new stuff, and these are the old. This one you can see really well. GE27. Most of these bulbs, that's what they are. Some of them, it's pretty faded and hard to see the writing on them, but most of them, that's what they are. And majority of them, some of them aren't, like this one isn't. This is the other string that was wrapped around the newspaper. It's actually in good shape. There's no breaks or problems with the wiring, and all the sockets work, so I'll just leave this set as it is. It's a 15 light set too. So this paper that those lights were wrapped in is dated December 30th, 1972. It's a Detroit free press. So yeah, pretty neat. And then the other side of it here has this ad here. It says X-rated, held over, the sensuous city, in color, adults only, 6 mile. Woodward at McNichols. And there it's TO60400. I wonder what else is X-rated. The Galaxy, some of these were theaters. These were actually, that was the Van Dyke was a drive-in. I think the Galaxy was too. Some of these were actually drive-ins that are no longer there. I used to go to the one there. So it's kind of neat when you see this old stuff. Look at this. Another adult only. X-rated. How interesting when you find this old stuff. And then look at here, Christmas fairy tales for adults only. Widescreen. Cinnamon Southfield. So interesting to find that in the Detroit Free Press back in 1972. Oh, looky here. We got old tires. Detroit's largest radial dealer. That was when most cars still had bi-ply tires. I don't see... Oh, Performance Tire on Grand River and Outer Drive. So look at these tire prices. Too bad you can't buy tires at those prices now. And then there's more over here. I'm going to save these papers for sure. They're kind of interesting. They still had letter designations here. Uniroyal, Fast Track, belted. Yeah, pretty neat. Yeah, I like it. Here we got battery. Exide battery, lifetime guarantee, $28.95. More snow tire. And this is Suburban Tire. They had there might still be some of those around. But Northville Downs, I think, is closing this year. I used to go to the horse races there all the time. And a Mazda, that would probably be a 1973 Mazda. And it's showing the rotary reciprocating engine, or as they call it, the piston engine. So yeah, it's kind of neat. Back in 1972, if you're looking for a job, you looked in Help Wanted in the newspaper. There was no pulling out your gadget and just flipping through it. So anyway, yeah, here's one that says mechanic experience, must have tools, excellent pay plan, and fringe benefits. See Harold Grass in person. Bob Ford, 14585 Michigan, which would be Michigan Avenue, or known as US 12. So doesn't give a pay there for it, but pretty neat. The house is listed for sale, real estate. I mean, I don't see any. Well, here, a new home in Rochester, 4-bedroom. Let's see, it doesn't, yeah, they just don't give prices. Oh, this one here, North Woodward area, Hazel Park. That one's $17,200 on Spencer. Doesn't give an address. But, you know, here's one that's $44,900, a 3-bedroom colonial near Birmingham. Birmingham's a more affluent area of the Detroit metropolitan area. And yet you could get a home there, a 3-bedroom colonial, for $44,900. Have to put this in. This is the dealer, Marola Chevrolet City, Michigan's largest Chevrolet dealer, to Gratiot at an 8.5 mile, PR 5-8300. Marola Chevrolet is where this car sold brand new from. So I have to put that in too. That car was sold new there. So these are the 73s in stock. This is at Rinky Pontiac at Van Dyke and 11 Mile. Brand new 73 Ventura, 2167. It's got a 250 cubic inch engine with E78 14 tires, bumper strips, bumper guards, full factory equipment. Brand new Le Mans, 2929. A Catalina, check this out, a Catalina 2-door hardtop with a 350, power steering, power disc brakes, G78 15 tires, bumper strips, $3,099. A Granville, which was the top of the line Pontiac with a 455, power steering, power disc brakes, power windows, remote mirror, H78 15 tires, bumper stripes, $41.41. How cool is this? I should make a separate video just for this newspaper. Along Ford. So let's see what a 73 LTD 2-door hardtop, $32.95. A Torino 2-door hardtop, $28.50. These are V8. It doesn't give engine displacement. Well, this one does. A 73 Maverick, 250 engine, Cruise-O-Matic, which was an automatic, $22.95. An LTD Squire, which is a station wagon, $43.95. A lot of people don't realize back in the day, station wagons were the most expensive cars brand new. They cost more than the convertibles. And sometimes there were as much as, you know, you could buy a Lincoln for $5,000 probably in that era. So, you know, they were an expensive car. So it says 27 wagons to choose from. Pinto, Torino, LTD Squires. Example, LTD Squire, special paint. My dad had a 72 he bought brand new. This is a 73. Special paint, 400 engine, deluxe Squire trim, N78 15 belted white sidewall, visibility group, deluxe rack, power tailgate lock, door gate, washers, automatic temperature control, intermittent wipers, tinted glass, power side windows, radio dual rear speaker, stock number 848, $43.95. You could get yourself a brand new 1973 Ford Country Squire. And the Mercuries are over here. 72 Marquis with air conditioning, $32.25. So yeah, you can kind of pause the video if you want and kind of look. Here's a 73 Dart Swinger, $2,099. A 73 Charger, $22.50. A new 73 Polara, $28.50, and a brand new Colt, which is a little Japanese built car, $17.95. Nice. I like this. These are Dodge Town and Country. So again, here's a 72 Impala. That's a 72, so it might have been old stock. Now you got to remember, 73 was the year of the oil embargo. So, you know, gas prices were starting to get close to $1 a gallon, and people weren't buying these big tanks. They were looking more like for this Colt, wherever it was. where they got Mazda, then these big tanks that Detroit was rolling off the assembly line. It was at Grissom Chevrolet. So $27.88, you could get a new 72 Chevy Impala. This is a Northland Chrysler Plymouth Valiant. A new Duster, $2,075. A Satellite, Fury. Just says new 73 Chrysler. So pretty slick. Let's see if somebody wants to read their horoscopes. You'll just have to pause it. And again, this is the week of, or this is December 30th, 1972. So I guess this was the Metro section of the Detroit Free Press. And this is the weather forecast. It says mild but windy, high 40 to 45, low 32 to 38. So yeah, that's what the weather was like on December 30th, 1972, just before New Year's. Oh my God, looky here, a color television, a Motorola. $298. Look at these ancient Egyptian things. Probably most of my younger viewers would have never seen a TV that looked like those. And I remember them. That's sad. Well, no, I guess it's not. I mean, that's all good. So, the second front page, it says on there. And this was from Wrigley's, so you can kind of see what whisk detergent, a quart bottle, 79 cents. So you can kind of see what prices were back in the end of 72, beginning of 73. Well, Sears was one of the biggest retailers back in 72 there was. I mean, they were the Amazon of the day. You could get everything mail order. At one time, you could even buy an all-state car. And so I think it was a Henry J that Sears sold under the Allstate name. But this is all Sears stuff. I mean, I see these in estate sales, $24.97. I saw one of those not too long ago in an estate sale, and I passed on it because, you know, you just can't make money on them. But regularly $129.95 down to $104. So yeah, they weren't cheap even back then. So you can kind of get an idea. Movie projector, 8mm, $79. So I'll just kind of go through here. I mean, you can get those for probably less now because, you know, they're just mass produced in China and they're garbage. That probably would last 50 years. The ones you buy now, you get 5 years out of them and they're garbage. So yeah, and shaving cream, fresh orange, herbal frost. It's just kind of interesting. Well, here's some movies that were shown that aren't X-rated. I just find it unusual if they put X-rated advertisements in the local Detroit newspaper. Well, I wonder what was on TV on this evening of the 30th of December 1972. Well, we could watch Ozzie and Harriet or Michigan Outdoors. I used to watch that. The NBC movie was The Mouse on the Moon. Streets of San Francisco was on. 6 Cents. So, just kind of give you a little of what was on the television back in 1972. Bill Bonds, I remember him well, so if you're from the Detroit area and you're a little older, you probably remember him. He had a little bit of problems with alcohol. He was a heck of a good guy and good reporter, but yeah, I think he had definitely an alcohol problem, but that's 1972. What he looked like then. I remember watching, my dad watching him on the news. Anyone remember Montgomery Ward? They used to make pretty good outdoor power equipment. Garden Mark was a lot of their brands, but a lot of their stuff was pretty darn, a lot of their products were made by Gilson. They were actually pretty darn good. Okay, that was that paper from that string of lights and the lights that I threw away that I saved some of these parts off of. And I save these packages when I have them that are empty because they're a good place to store the bulbs. So when I take them out of the sockets and throw the light sets away, they don't get chipped or broken or anything. But anyway, let's undo this rat's nest and look at these papers too. But maybe, no, we'll look at the papers next. These ones unwrap from the newspaper quite easily. There's 50 bulbs on this set. And that zap you heard was not things shorting out. I got a zapper here. It is a electric insect killer from Sears and Roebuck. I don't see the model number on there, but I'm sure you can pause the video if you want to see it. But the flies get a little crazy in here now and then, and that seems to get the flies pretty good. You can see one that got right there still in the mesh, but they drop down here on the chair, so I gotta clean the chair off before I sit in it. But it certainly takes care of the flies in here. Alright, hopefully I don't step on any of those while we're going through this. This is a Detroit News, and it's December 29th, Friday, December 29th, 1972. So let's take a look at this. This looks like the sports section. It's kind of wanting to roll up on me here. This is Sunday. This is December 31st, 1972, Section D of the Detroit News. And so this is, we'll go look through here. So we got a couple of different, we got a December 29th and a December 31st paper here, it looks like. And we got a Macomb Daily, December 30th, 1972, which was the local paper from Macomb County, which is just happens to be where Romeo is, where I kind of grew up. So we'll take a peek through this paper. Also lights, they're on Gratiot, and they're also, well, I think that's it, Gratiot Avenue in Roseville. And truck caps, snowmobile trailer covers, snowmobile trailers, truck covers. I mean, look at the prices. Not bad, huh? Too bad they aren't like that now. Okay, again, we're in the Macomb Daily, but I saw a little ad here. Let me see if I can find it again. I didn't want to highlight it, but it was under antique cars right here. 62 Cadillac for parts, good engine, all for $75. So, yeah, that's kind of 67 Dodge Camper Special. 26,000 actual miles, $1,900. Apache 72. McDonald's campers. So that's a camper. Station wagons. 69 Ford Country Squire V8 Air, power only, $988. So $988 you could get in a 69 Ford Country Squire in the end of 72, almost 73. A 72 Kingswood Estate, 9-passenger, power steering, brakes, air luggage rack, 16,000 miles, $3,400. Here's another one, $3,500. So, you know, it looks 67 Pontiac station wagon, 9-passenger. Power steering, power brakes, air shocks, $700. Wow, too bad you can't find those things at that prices now. Back in the day, my brother worked at Monocoty Chrysler Plymouth when they were on Auburn Road and Ryan in Utica. He actually worked for them when they moved to their new location and helped them do the moving. I worked at Jerome Duncan Ford. So, pretty neat. 65 Galaxy 500 good tires, fair condition, $125. You know, so here you see 68 Ford LTD. 45,000 miles, $1,100. 61 Ford Galaxy 500, best offer. This is good second car. 66 Ford Galaxy 289 automatic, fair condition, $100. Yeah, so it's kind of neat seeing these old ads. I don't see a, maybe I'm just not looking that well, but I don't see a Morolla Chevrolet ad in here. But that other one had the Morolla Chevrolet ad, and they're still in business. Snowmobile directory. Pretty neat. This is the Detroit News sports section, but you can see like they got Fords up there, they got Mustangs, Mavericks, Pintos. I mean, 1970 Mustang Boss 302, stock condition, 2200 or best offer. 70 Colony Park, 10 passenger loaded, $35.95. Now remember, this is at Royal Bryan Ford. Remember, this is December of 72, almost 73. My mom had a 72 Maverick. That's a 72 Mustang 2 Plus, 2 fastback, V8, power steering, power brakes, road wheel sprint package, $27.95 at Ray Whitfield Ford. So yeah, it's kind of neat. A Pinto, 72 Pinto, $1,700. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, all these car ads in here. All the Corvettes. Citroen, you know, I mean, Austin Healey. The Citroen says factory parts and service. SM Coupe D models. Windmere of Windsor, 460 Erie Street, phone Detroit, and it says 962-8089. So yeah, it's kind of neat. Corvette parts. Here's a 72 Corvette Coupe. There's no price there. Let's see if we can find one with a price. This one's a 66 with a 327 customized. Just says after 4 and a phone number. Here's the 69, and it's $27.95 for a 69 Corvette. 72 Corvette, 454 Coupe, 4-speed air-loaded, excellent condition. Again, just a phone number. So a lot of the Corvettes, well, here's one, a 71 Gold Coupe, AM/FM luggage rack, excellent condition, 43 or best offer. So some of them have prices, some of them don't. But hot rods and accessories. Let's see what the hot rods of the era were. AMX 1970 360 engine. Power steering, power brakes, headers, cam. Best offer. It doesn't have a price, unfortunately. Borg-Warner T10 trans gears. Boss 302 headers. Chevrolet 64 SS 4-speed Posi slicks, runs good, 250 or best offer. Chevelle 66 4-speed mags, 396, 350 engine, new, and headers. So I guess the engine's new. It had a 396 in it at one time. 70 Z28, 68 Chevy 327 engine. Doesn't have a price. That's a GMC rear end setup. So that was about it for it looks like class. Oh, here's some more up here. Hot rod accessories. So 70 Camaro Z28 350 360 horse, 4-speed headers, mags, tires, traction bars, cassette tape player. Wow. L88 hood, big rear spoiler, 71 high back seats. And it just has a phone number. It doesn't have a price. Too bad they don't have a price on everything. Ford 6-cylinder dirt car. So yeah, there's 71 GTO, 450 horsepower, built by Royal Muncie Trans, 390 Posi track, heavy duty radiator, battery and suspension, bucket seats, console, Tacky, AM/FM Goodyear, polyglass GTs, mags, and discs. $2,600 or best offer. So yeah, pretty neat. Let's take a look through some of the other stuff. Oh, we got to go through the antique and classic cars and parts. There's a 31 Chevy 2-door 5-passenger coupe, partly restored, extra 31 4-door sedan. Call after 4. And then there's a 59 Edsel convertible, power steering, power brakes, mechanically perfect, no rust, interior very good, a show car, must sell. Phone number again. 36 Ford 3-window coupe, rumble seat, good condition. No engine, $900. 34 Ford, 3-window coupe, dragster, gutted, body shell frame, and front end only, $100. 30 Ford Model A type S2S, running condition, as is. Open for bids. Let's see, I can't read that. That's kind of messed up. It looks like it says closing date January 31st. 40 Ford Opera Coupe, $3,500, needs tires. 38 Ford 2-door deluxe sedan, motor and trans rebuilt. Ford 55 wagon, 49,000 miles, $750. It says it's in excellent condition. 50 Ford, good condition. 2 new tires, runs good, 3-speed. One looks like it says $1,000. That's quite a bit for that era, I guess. Must have been in pretty nice shape. Yeah, there's a 51 Mercury, $1,000. 53 Mercury station wagon, Woody, automatic V8, runs good, $250. Wouldn't you like to find these nowadays? Model A 30 2-door sedan, 36 5-window unrestored, runs also. 37 Dodge 4-door sedan, not running. Must go as package, $700. 36 Olds, have all parts to restore. Sell or trade, make offer. Rolls-Royce 53 Silver Wrath 5-passenger touring limo by James Young. It does 11,000. Wow. So we'll just kind of, here's a Model T 24 touring, good condition, no price. So yeah, it's just kind of an interesting to find something like this from Christmas lights in a estate sale. Apartments for rent. Ashland and Warren, modern 2-bedroom, $180. Yeah, wouldn't that be something to find an apartment for $180? So yeah, there's more apartments and properties and whatnot in here. Pretty crazy. Look at that. I mean, look at the attire and hairdos and everything. I was probably about his age back in 1972. This is the Macomb Daily again. And we have pictures here from Harry S. Truman's funeral procession. And just kind of interesting. Perry Drug. Look at this 35 miniature light set, and I got a lot of those 69 cents. So I guess when I pay $1 for a set at an estate sale, oh, they're regularly $1.69. This must be they're 50% or clearing out the Christmas inventory. So yeah, I still pick them up in estate sales now and then if I find them. Marlboro cigarettes, red coat special, $2.99 a carton. Boy, could you get rich if you could go buy them for $2.99 a carton and resell them. Look at this. This is just really crazy. Better Made potato chips, 49 cents. 14-ounce bag. And that was probably a full bag. Now 14-ounce bags has 5 potato chips in it. So, yeah, Perry Drug was popular around here. I think I'm thinking it was CVS that they became. I don't remember if it was CVS or, but anyway, they were bought out. Jeremy's mom worked for Perry Drug. Yeah, back in 1972, there wasn't satellite dishes or cable TV. You used an antenna. And that, if you had a rotary antenna, you were fancy. So, oh, look at there, a little car ad there. Happy New Year, 1973. That's from Stroh's Distributing Company. So yeah, it's pretty slick. Weingart Supply is still kicking around. I have several things here, the pieces of power equipment that was purchased from Weingart Supply. And they have, I think they have a third location now on Mound Road. There's one in Utica, one in Shelby Township, and one on Mound Road. I don't know if that, I think it's Warren maybe, or Sterling Heights. We've got cars waiting for you, in stock, ready for delivery. Doesn't give any prices, but it's from Crest Lincoln Mercury, and if anyone's a fan of Kid Rock, his dad was the sales manager at Crest Lincoln Mercury in the 70s and eventually bought the dealership. And I used to service their boats all the time at Lakeville Lake. Ritchie's, Bill and Sue Ritchie. Pretty nice people. Oh, here we go. Here's some prices on 73 Pontiacs. Brand new 73 Catalina 4-door. Oh. And a Le Mans 2-door. So, Snow Jet. Well, you could get a house, and you could get it with a 3-car garage, or with a 2-car garage, 1.5 baths, and that was brand new, $27,500. And Tom doesn't live too far from here, my friend Tom. His home is one of these style of homes in that area. I have to show him that ad. I think he'd be interested in it. Here's some more tire ads. And if there's anything you want to look at, like I say, just pause the video. The Macomb Daily is just the paper we just were looking at. And Baked to Break Clear and Romeo. That's where I grew up. So, I was just reading where this is the bank right by my dad's house. It's the Fifth Third. So they broke ground there in December, or would have been 73 probably. So yeah, and they approved the Village Shopping Center, which is now mostly derelict. There is an AMP and a Perry Drugs and a True Value Hardware, and $5 million Town and Country Shopping Center, south of Romeo, between 30 and 31 Mile in Washington Township. So yeah, I'll take some video of that next time I'm up in the Romeo area, so I can throw some video on of that. It's got a Tractor Supply or something there now, but anyway, that was derelict for quite a while. But I remember when that opened up brand new. We had a brand new 72 Ford Country Squire, and we'd go there and thought we were all that. So Frank's Nursery, they're long gone too. Jeremy worked at Frank's Nursery. So this is wanting to roll up on me, so I guess I'll set something on it and hold it out. Look at that. Master Charge. Bank AmeriCard. Pretty neat. This is the Metro section, or section B of the Detroit News. So let's turn the page. Is that how you want to spend the last 16 hours in 1972? I don't think I do. Look at that. Good old President Nixon. Gee, that was pretty good for 1972. Better than what it is today. And of course another Montgomery Ward ad. And that about does it for the papers. So I might put it all in one or separate, we'll see. Well, being that all those lights were wrapped up in those 1972 newspapers, do you suspect that the last time those were used was 1972? I remember that era vividly, so I suspect this was the last year these lights were put up. Christmas 1973, President Nixon asked people not to put up their outdoor lighting to save energy because of the energy crisis that we had back then. I mean, gas was probably getting, up in the 80, 90 cent a gallon range, maybe, probably about 80, 70, 80 cent. Well, no, I think it was less than that. But anyway, it was getting up there, starting to go up. And there was lines at gas stations, most people drove, big American tanks. And the tanks of the late 60s and early 70s loved gas. I mean, this gets 19 miles a gallon, and it's got the 348, but it's a 3 on the tree. The 28, I had a 60 with a 283, and it got 22, 23 miles a gallon. The 6-cylinder models would get about 15, 16, and they're supposed to be the economy engine, but I think they just work too hard to move these big heavy cars down the road. And so I suspect 72 was the last year those lights were up, wrapped in those 72 papers, and they didn't look like they'd been unwrapped in 50 years or so. So that's what I'm guessing, just a educated guess, that the last those were used was 72. All right, I got these out, and all but one light's up. That one there is the only one that's not illuminated, but look at these old Chinese lanterns that are in them illuminating. Those are C-9 base. There's 4 of them with Chinese lanterns. C-9 base Chinese lanterns. They're really cool bulbs. And I see them in C7. Rarely ever see them in C9 base. And these bells you often see in C7, rarely ever in C9. So I'll look on eBay. Maybe I can sell this stuff. This stuff I'm really not interested in, but it works other than one bulb is out. And these lanterns I'll probably take out and sell separately. Okay, I took the lantern out so you can kind of see it. And we'll screw it into the base without the bell. There, so you can kind of see it illuminated. They're all slightly different. As you can see, this one has a little different pattern on it. So let's see what else is in that box. No, it's just garland. Yeah, that I'm not interested in. That might just go in the rubbish. I don't know. Somebody might want it, so maybe I'll throw it on eBay. Who knows? Those are the 4 different patterns of those Chinese lantern bulbs. They work. C9 base. Alright, this is that 7 light set for those bells. Those are the 7 bells plus the extra bells and the garland in this box. And if any of my viewers are interested in buying it, let me know. There will be shipping on top of it too, but I won't use any of this stuff, so I think I'll just eventually, probably closer to the holidays, put it on eBay if nobody speaks up for it. It's starting to rain. I just wanted to add this bit of video just for my dad, so you can check out what I like the garden, so it's kind of one of the garden. This is another one. That's a bear's breech. It hasn't bloomed yet, but it has an amazing bloom. But look at that beautiful bud and the beautiful flower that's in bloom over here. Pretty neat. The Virginia creeper took a big hit from the heat when we had all that hot weather, but it's starting to get the curtain effect here that, this just started this year, so it's going to take 2-3 years, but it'll be like a drapery there. So, and those are doing good. Yeah, it's looking nice, but you can see, yeah, the Virginia creeper really Really got hit from the heat. So I just wanted to do this just for my dad, so he can kind of, he enjoys seeing the gardens, and he hasn't been down in a while, and they've done a lot of growing. So just wanted to add this. These are voodoo lilies, castor bean. That's a burning bush, which is a winged euonymus. You can kind of see why they call it a winged euonymus. See the little wings on the stem? But it's bright red in the fall. It's really beautiful. So we got a bunch of raspberries, made raspberry jam. You can see on the voodoo lilies the trunk is pretty slick. The flower comes up first and it smells like decomposing flesh. It's really foul smelling, attracts the flies and stuff, but the leaves, the way they ring out, pretty cool. These are 4 o'clocks, they bloom at night, and the ivy that is growing around here, I made a little thing out of re-rod to grow it around the whole shed. So this is a variegated. They lose their leaves in the fall, this particular ivy, and then got an arbor I made there out of re-rod too, and growing plants up over that. So there you go, Dad. You can check out the garden. This is a Rose of Sharon. Here, so you can kind of see a flower in there. Prune these just to look like little trees. So anyway, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, and thank you for watching my hour-long video, especially if you're brave and watched the whole thing without clicking through it. But the newspaper stuff was really interesting. I enjoyed that a lot. So again, thank you for watching.